Hi, dear listeners. Welcome back to Smart Talk English. I'm Natasha, your host for today. If you're new here, let me quickly tell you. We upload a new English learning video every single day to help you improve your English faster and more confidently. In today's episode, you're going to improve not just your English listening skills, but also your speaking ability. We're diving into a very useful and exciting topic, one that plays a big role in helping English learners speak more fluently and naturally in everyday life. Daily life English phrases for speaking fluently. These are the kinds of phrases you hear in casual conversations, in cafes, on the street, at work, at home. Basically, everywhere. We're going to break them down with natural examples, explain how to use them in the right context, and even go through short practice exercises to help you make them a part of your daily speaking habits. By the end of this video, you'll be much more confident using the kinds of English that native speakers use every day. So, if you often pause while speaking or feel unsure about what phrase to say next, this lesson is just for you. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on future lessons like this one. Now, grab a pen and notebook and get ready to practice and speak with me. Let's get started. Hello again. Let's begin today's journey into speaking English more fluently by first thinking about how we communicate in our daily life. Most conversations we have every day are not formal. They happen at home, at school, in the supermarket, or while talking to a friend or coworker. And these conversations don't use complex vocabulary or grammar. Instead, they rely on simple, repeated, and common phrases that native speakers use over and over again. These are the building blocks of natural fluency. Today, I'll walk you through many of these phrases, help you understand their use, and guide you with example sentences and small practice exercises that will make these phrases stick in your mind. Our goal is not to memorize long grammar rules, but to develop a habit of thinking and responding in English without hesitation. So let's begin with greetings and friendly small talk, which is one of the easiest and most common ways to start speaking English with others. When we meet someone, we usually say things like, "Hey, how's it going?" Or, "Hi, what's up?" These are more casual and natural than the formal, "Hello, how do you do?" You can respond to "How's it going?" by saying, "It's going great, thanks. How about you?" Or if things aren't perfect, you might say, "Not too bad, just a bit tired." These responses sound more natural than just saying, "I'm fine." Practice with me now. Imagine you're walking into a coffee shop and the barista says, "Hey, how's your day going?" Your response could be, "Pretty good, thanks." Just stopping by for a quick coffee. Simple, friendly, and fluent. That's the kind of tone we want to build. Let's move on to another common situation, asking for help or information. In daily life, we often ask for help, whether it's at a store, in the office, or even in the street. You might say, "Excuse me, can you help me find this item?" Or, "Could you please tell me where the nearest bus stop is?" If you want to sound more casual and friendly, you can say, "Hey, do you happen to know where I can find some batteries?" Or, "Hi, I'm looking for the post office. Is it nearby?" These types of sentences are not only polite, but also clear and commonly used. The phrase, "Do you happen to know?" is a gentle way to ask something and is very commonly used by fluent English speakers. Practice now. Imagine you are at a supermarket and can't find the rice. Say this with me. "Hi, excuse me. Do you happen to know where the rice section is?" See how polite and easy that sounds? Now let's talk about ordering food or drinks, which is another daily life activity. At a restaurant or cafe, we often say, "I'll have the chicken sandwich, please." Or, "Can I get a cappuccino to go?" You can also say, "Could I please get a large iced tea?" These phrases are very useful and also respectful. Adding please makes your sentence polite without sounding robotic. And saying "can I get" or "could I have" are excellent ways to make requests fluently. Practice with me now. You're at a fast food counter. Say this out loud. "Hi, can I get a cheeseburger and fries, please?" Or, "Could I have a bottle of water?" These are very typical and natural sounding phrases. Another useful category is expressing opinions and feelings. In daily conversations, we often need to say what we think or how we feel. Instead of just saying, "I like it," you can say, "I'm really into this show," or "I'm not a big fan of spicy food." These are natural phrases that sound like native speakers. Try saying, "Honestly, I think this place is amazing." Or, "To be honest, I didn't enjoy that movie very much." These phrases help you sound fluent and genuine. Practice now. Imagine a friend asks, "What do you think of this restaurant?" You can say, "Honestly, I really like the atmosphere. It's cozy and quiet." Or, if you don't like it, you can say, "I'm not really into the food here, to be honest." See how you are expressing your opinion clearly and fluently? Let's go over one more common situation: making plans. When we talk to friends or coworkers, we often make plans, whether it's for lunch, a meeting, or a weekend trip. Useful phrases include, "Are you free this weekend?" Or, "Do you want to grab coffee later?" You can also say, "Let's catch up sometime soon," or "We should hang out again." These types of expressions help you start and manage social plans in English fluently. Practice with me. Say, "Hey, do you have time for lunch tomorrow?" Or, "Let's meet up at the mall around 5." These are simple and friendly ways to connect with others. Here's a short practice exercise to help you absorb what we've learned so far. I will describe a short scene and then pause so you can repeat a suitable phrase aloud. Imagine you see your friend walking toward you in the street. What would you say? Try, "Hey, long time no see. How have you been?" Now you enter a cafe. What do you say to the cashier? Try, "Hi, could I get a latte and a muffin, please?" Next, your colleague says they are stressed with work. How do you respond? Try, "Yeah, I get it. It's been a crazy week." And now your friend invites you to a movie. What can you say? Try, "Sounds good. What time should we meet?" Practicing like this builds your memory and confidence, so don't skip it. Say the lines out loud and imagine yourself in the situation. This is the best way to train your brain to use English naturally. As you can see, fluency in daily life is not about using big words. It's about using the right words in the right situation. You don't need to memorize difficult vocabulary. Just learn the most useful phrases and how to say them smoothly. That's what makes a real difference. Every time you practice one of these daily expressions, your confidence grows. You don't have to speak fast to sound fluent. You just have to speak clearly with confidence and use phrases that fit everyday life. Think of fluency as a habit, not a skill. You build it by repeating and using simple phrases over and over until they come out of your mouth automatically. That's why we're going through all these examples today, not just to learn them, but to make them part of your thinking and speaking patterns. Let's continue by focusing on conversations that happen at work or school. In these environments, we often need to give updates, ask questions, or express our thoughts in a way that is both clear and polite. For example, if you are in a meeting and want to share your opinion, you can say, "I'd like to add something here," or, "If I may, I think we could try a different approach." These kinds of phrases allow you to join discussions without interrupting or sounding too direct. If you need clarification, you can say, "Could you explain that again?" Or, "I'm not sure I understand. Could you repeat that?" These are excellent phrases to keep conversations going without feeling nervous or lost. Now practice with me. Imagine you're in a group meeting at the office and your manager asks for feedback. You could say, "In my opinion, the new plan looks promising, but we may need more time for testing." Or maybe you didn't quite understand something. Try this. "Sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you go over it once more?" It's okay to ask questions or request repetition. These phrases are how real people communicate every day, and using them fluently helps you sound confident and professional. In schools or learning environments, similar phrases are useful. For example, if you're unsure about something your teacher said, you might say, "I'm sorry, could you repeat that last part?" Or, "Can you explain that in another way?" If you're joining a study group, you might say, "Do you want to go over the notes together?" Or, "Let's review the chapter before the test." These are casual but useful phrases to make learning more interactive and collaborative. Let's move into another important area, talking about your daily routine. This is one of the best ways to practice English because it's based on your real life. If someone asks you, "What's your usual day like?" you can respond by saying, "Well, I wake up around 7, have some coffee, then head to work by 8:30. You can continue by saying, "I usually take a break around noon and grab some lunch. After work, I go for a walk or sometimes watch a show." These sentences are made up of simple verbs and phrases, but they are powerful when used fluently in conversation. Now it's your turn to practice. I'll describe part of a routine, and you try to repeat it out loud. Imagine you're talking to a new friend who wants to know about your day. Say this: "On weekdays, I get up early and take a shower. Then I have breakfast, usually toast and coffee. Next, continue with, I work from 9 to 5, and after work, I like to relax by reading a book or watching something online." Saying these out loud, even if you're alone, helps you become more comfortable with daily English. Repeat the sentences, change the details, and talk about your real life using English phrases. Now let's add more useful expressions that help you handle everyday tasks. Think about going to the doctor, visiting the bank, or calling customer service. At the doctor's office, you might say, "I've been having a headache since yesterday." Or, "I'm not feeling well and would like to get checked." At the bank, useful phrases include, "I'd like to open a new account," or, "Could you help me transfer money to another account?" On the phone, you can say, "Hi, I'm calling to ask about my internet connection," or, "Can I speak with someone from customer support?" Try these now. Pretend you're at a clinic. Say, "Hello, I'd like to make an appointment. I've been feeling tired lately." Or pretend you're calling your phone company. Say, "Hi, I've noticed a problem with my bill and need some help." These are everyday interactions that become easier and more fluent the more you practice them. It's not about memorizing long dialogues. It's about using practical sentences that fit into real-life moments. Let's also talk about how to handle emotions and common reactions. When something surprises you, you might say, "No way," or "Are you serious?" If something makes you happy, you could say, "That's awesome," or "I'm so glad to hear that." If you feel frustrated or disappointed, you can say, "That's a bit annoying," or "I was really hoping for a better result." These expressions are important because they help you connect emotionally with others, which is a key part of fluent speaking. Let's practice together. Imagine your friend just told you they got a new job. You can respond with, "Wow, congratulations!" "That's amazing." Now, your friend says they lost their phone. Respond with, "Oh no, that's so frustrating. Did you try calling it?" These simple exchanges are exactly what make conversations feel natural. You don't need to prepare long speeches, just react honestly using everyday phrases. Let's add another layer to our practice, using filler phrases. These are short phrases that native speakers use when they're thinking or hesitating, and they help your speech sound more natural. Phrases like, you know, actually, well, and let me think are very common. For example, instead of saying, I don't know, in a flat tone, you can say, well, I'm not sure, but maybe we could try another way. Or if you're trying to explain something, you might say, so basically, it works like this. These filler phrases make your English sound more real. Try these examples with me. You're asked what your favorite food is. You can say, let me think. I guess I'd say pizza. Or someone asks you for directions and you say, well, I'm not totally sure, but I think it's around the corner. These phrases may seem small, but they help smooth out your speech and reduce awkward pauses. Practice using them in your daily thoughts or while watching TV shows. Try repeating them out loud when you hear them. Now let's do a small conversation practice using some of the phrases we've learned so far. Imagine you meet someone at a park. You start with, hi. Beautiful day, isn't it? They respond, yeah, it's perfect for a walk. You say, totally. Do you come here often? They reply, pretty often. It's close to my place. You ask, nice. So what do you usually do after your walk? They answer, I usually grab some coffee and read a bit. Now you can say, that sounds so relaxing. I should try that sometime. As you see, this is a light, natural exchange that uses real phrases you've already practiced. Nothing too formal, just real people talking. At this point, you may notice that a lot of these phrases are flexible and can be used in many contexts. For example, sounds good can be used to agree with a plan, a suggestion, or even a compliment. Let's do it can be used to show enthusiasm. Not really can be used to disagree politely. Knowing the tone and meaning behind these simple phrases is what will help you use them fluently in daily life. Fluency is not about speed. It's about comfort, rhythm, and natural responses. So, let's end this part with another practice routine. I'll give you a few daily life situations and pause so you can respond. You walk into a coffee shop and see a long line. What can you say? Try, wow, it's really busy today. Next, your friend says they're going on a trip next week. Say, that's exciting. Where are you headed? Now, you're meeting someone for the first time. Say, nice to meet you. I've heard great things. And finally, someone offers you help. Say, thanks, I really appreciate it. Practicing like this builds not just vocabulary, but also confidence, rhythm, and the ability to respond smoothly without thinking too much. Let's now focus on how we handle unexpected or awkward situations in everyday English. Life is not always smooth, and sometimes we need to react quickly to surprising news, small problems, or even mistakes. In these moments, native English speakers often use casual, automatic phrases. If someone bumps into you by accident, you might say, no worries, or it's all good. If you arrive late to a meeting, you can say, sorry I'm late, traffic was crazy, or thanks for waiting. These responses help manage situations without sounding overly formal or uncomfortable. Practice a few of these now. Imagine you accidentally step on someone's foot. Say, oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Or if someone apologizes to you, say, don't worry about it. It happens. These phrases help you sound calm and natural in real life. Fluency is not just about what you say when things go right. it's also about how you respond when things go wrong. Let's talk a bit about phone conversations, which can feel tricky in English, especially without body language or facial expressions. When you answer a call, instead of just saying, hello, you can say, hi, this is Natasha speaking, or, hello, who's calling, please? If you're calling someone, you might say, hi, is this a good time? Or, hey, I was just calling to check in about tomorrow. Ending the call smoothly is also important. Try phrases like, all right, I'll let you go now, or talk to you soon. These small phrases help make your phone conversations sound more fluent and confident. Let's do a short phone practice. Imagine calling a friend. Start with, hey, it's me. Just wanted to see how you're doing. Then continue, are we still on for tomorrow's lunch? And finally, end with, cool, I'll see you then. Take care. Practicing full mini dialogues like this builds your fluency because they mirror real-life communication. Another area to explore is giving directions or explaining locations. These are very common in daily life, especially when helping someone or asking for help. If you're giving directions, you can say, go straight for 2 blocks, then turn left at the light. Or, it's right next to the supermarket, across from the bank. If you're asking for directions, you might say, excuse me, how do I get to the train station? Or, is there a pharmacy nearby? These types of interactions are great for fluency practice because they follow predictable sentence patterns. Now let's practice. Say this aloud. Hi, could you tell me how to get to the nearest grocery store? And then try, sure. Just walk down this road, take your second right, and you'll see it next to the gas station. These phrases may seem simple, but they are part of everyday speech and give your English a very natural tone. Let's shift a little and talk about expressing likes, dislikes, and preferences. These are very common topics in small talk or friendly conversations. Instead of just saying, I like it, or I don't like it, you can say, I'm really into this, or it's not really my thing. For example, instead of I like music, try I'm really into jazz lately. Instead of I don't like sports, say I've never really been into sports much. These versions sound more casual and natural, which is what we're aiming for in daily conversations. Now, your turn to speak. Imagine someone asks, do you like spicy food? You can say, not really. I prefer mild flavors. Or if someone asks, what kind of movies do you like? You might say, I'm really into thrillers and crime dramas lately. These phrases show your preferences without sounding too stiff or formal. Let's also talk about handling situations where you don't know the answer or need time to think. Sometimes when we speak English, we need a second to find the right word. Instead of freezing or pausing awkwardly, native speakers use softening phrases. For example, let me think, or that's a good question, or well, I'm not entirely sure, but. These expressions buy you time and keep the conversation flowing. Try these now. Someone asks you, what's your favorite place you visited? And you respond, that's a tough one. Let me think. Probably Istanbul. Or someone says, can you explain how this app works? And you say, well, I'm not totally sure, but I think you need to log in first. These phrases are not just polite. They help you manage conversations while sounding fluent. Now let's add another essential skill: how to agree and disagree politely. In English, we often need to agree with someone's opinion, or sometimes offer a different point of view. If you agree, you can say, exactly, or I couldn't agree more. If you want to disagree politely, you can say, I see what you mean, but I think. Or, that's a good point, but have you considered? These are respectful ways to share your thoughts and keep the conversation positive. Let's practice. Imagine a coworker says, "I think we should move the meeting to Friday." If you agree, say, "Sounds good to me." If you don't agree, say, "I get that, but Friday might be a bit tight for my schedule." This kind of response shows fluency, respect, and clear communication. It's not just about words. It's about tone and social awareness. We also use daily phrases to offer help or make suggestions. If you see someone struggling, you might say, "Do you want a hand with that?" Or, "Need some help?" If you're making a suggestion, you could say, "How about we try this?" Or, "Maybe we could go for a walk instead." These kinds of expressions are not only polite, but also very common in spoken English. Offering and suggesting things helps you connect with others and show kindness. Let's do a quick practice. Imagine your friend is trying to carry something heavy. Say, "Let me give you a hand with that." Or you're planning a group activity. Say, "Why don't we meet at the park instead?" These small phrases are simple but powerful in making your English sound more fluent and interactive. Another useful area is confirming and checking information. In daily life, we often ask or confirm details, like appointments, times, or plans. You might say, "Just to confirm, we're meeting at 3, right?" Or, "Is that still happening tomorrow?" If someone gives you a time or place, you can repeat it back like, "Okay, so we're meeting at the main entrance at 6, got it." This kind of back and forth is normal in conversations and helps build clarity. Practice now. You're confirming a dinner plan. Say, "Just to double check, we're still on for 7 p.m., right?" Or someone gives you instructions. Say, "Okay, so I just go down the hall and take a left?" Got it. These are the details that make your English interaction complete and fluent. Let's finish this part with one more mini dialogue for you to practice. Imagine you're meeting someone for the first time. You start with, "Hi, I'm Natasha." "Nice to meet you." They say, "Hi, I'm Daniel." "Nice to meet you too." You ask, "So, what do you do?" And they say, "I work as a software developer." "And you?" You respond, "I teach English and also make videos online." They reply, "That sounds cool. Do you enjoy it?" You say, "Yes, I love it. It's really rewarding." See how simple this is? You're just responding naturally using real daily life English. Now let's talk about how to keep a conversation going. One of the main reasons learners struggle with fluency is because conversations feel like a question-answer game. Someone asks a question, and you give a short answer, and then there's silence. To avoid this, you can learn how to give extended answers and ask return questions. For example, if someone asks, "How was your weekend?" Instead of just saying, "It was good," you can say, "It was good, thanks. I went to the beach with some friends. How about you?" That follow-up question keeps the conversation going and makes it feel natural. You're not just speaking English, you're communicating like a native speaker. Let's try some more examples. Imagine your coworker says, "Did you do anything fun over the weekend?" You can say, "Yeah, I visited my cousin and we watched a new movie. What about you?" Or your classmate says, "Have you finished the project?" You respond, "Almost. I've done most of it, just the conclusion left. How's yours coming along?" These are not complicated answers, but they help conversations flow. The key to fluency is not just saying words, it's being able to keep talking comfortably. Another very useful tool for fluency is paraphrasing. That means saying the same idea in a different way. This helps you when you forget a word or need to explain something more clearly. For example, if you forget the word dentist, you can say, "the person who fixes your teeth." Or if you don't remember the word tired, you can say, "I don't have much energy today." Paraphrasing is a great skill because it allows you to keep talking even when you don't know the exact word. Practice this with me. Imagine you don't remember the word restaurant. Say, "We went to a place where you eat food and someone serves you." Or you forget raincoat, so say, "I wore that thing you use when it rains. It keeps you dry." This technique may sound simple, but it's used by fluent speakers all the time. And the more you use it, the more confident you'll feel while speaking. Let's now focus on expressions of time and frequency. These are very common in everyday English and help you describe your routine or plans. Phrases like every now and then, once in a while, usually, pretty often, rarely, and from time to time make your speech more interesting. Instead of always saying always or never, you can use these softer expressions. For example, "I usually go jogging in the mornings," or "every now and then, I treat myself to some ice cream." These phrases help you sound more natural and less robotic. Try them now. Imagine someone asks, "Do you cook at home?" You might say, "Yeah, pretty often. I enjoy trying new recipes." Or, "Not really. I only cook once in a while." Now imagine someone asks, "Do you watch TV a lot?" You could say, "Only from time to time, mostly on weekends." Using these time expressions adds rhythm and fluency to your speech. Let's explore how to express agreement and shared feelings in conversation. When someone shares something with you, you don't always need to respond with long sentences. You can use quick, natural phrases like, "Me too," "Same here," "I know, right?" or "Tell me about it." These small expressions help you connect with people and show that you're actively listening. They also save time and make your conversations more relaxed. Practice a few now. Your friend says, "I'm so tired today." You say, "Tell me about it." "I barely slept." Or they say, "This weather is amazing." And you reply, "I know, right?" "It's perfect." Or they say, "I hate doing laundry." And you say, "Same here. It's my least favorite chore." These short replies make your English sound friendly and fluent. Let's also discuss expressions for giving opinions in a friendly, non-forceful way. In conversations, people often share opinions, and you can respond using phrases like, "I think," "In my opinion," "To be honest," or "As far as I'm concerned." These phrases soften your tone and make your opinion sound respectful, even when it's different from someone else's. For example, "I think the new restaurant is okay, but a bit overpriced." Or, "To be honest, I didn't enjoy that show as much as I expected." Practice time. Imagine someone says, "I loved that new superhero movie." You can respond, "To be honest, I thought it was a little too long." Or someone says, "That book was amazing." You say, "In my opinion, the ending was a bit weak, but overall it was good." These phrases help you speak honestly and fluently while keeping the conversation respectful. Let's try another mini dialogue. Imagine you're talking with a friend about weekend plans. You start with, "Hey, do you have any plans for the weekend?" They say, "Yeah, I'm thinking of going hiking. How about you?" You reply, "I might just relax at home. I've had a busy week." They say, "Sounds nice. Maybe we could grab coffee on Sunday?" You say, "That would be great. Just text me the time." See how that conversation flows naturally using simple but effective daily life phrases. Now, let's build your confidence with a few fluency drills. I'll describe a scene, and you respond aloud using natural English. Ready? You're at a party, and someone asks what you do. Say, "I work in marketing. I help companies promote their products online." Next, you meet someone who's into sports. They ask what you like. You say, "I'm more into music and books, but I enjoy watching football sometimes." Now, your friend is deciding between two restaurants. they ask your opinion. Say, I think the Italian place is better. Their pasta is amazing. Keep repeating these exercises and change the details to fit your own life. This helps you become fluent faster than just memorizing lists. Finally, let's talk about how to end conversations smoothly. Sometimes learners don't know how to wrap up a chat in English, and that creates awkward silences. You can use phrases like, all right, I've got to run, or I should get going, but it was nice talking to you. You can also say, let's catch up soon, or talk to you later. These help you leave the conversation politely and confidently. Practice these now. You're talking with a classmate, and the bell rings. Say, all right, I've got to go to class. See you later. Or you're ending a phone call with a friend. Say, okay, I'll talk to you soon. Take care. These phrases are short but effective, and they are used in real conversations all the time. You've now learned so many useful daily life English phrases that will help you sound fluent, natural, and confident. But remember, fluency doesn't happen overnight. It's a result of consistent practice, repetition, and using the language regularly. Speak out loud even when you're alone. Talk to yourself using the phrases you've learned. Describe your daily routine. React to news articles or TV shows. The more you use English in your daily thoughts and actions, the more fluent you'll become. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Let's now go a bit deeper into improving your fluency through repetition and practice in different real-life situations. One of the best ways to internalize daily English phrases is by putting them into mini stories that reflect everyday life. Let me tell you a quick example. Imagine a girl named Sarah who just moved to a new city. Her first day starts with a simple morning conversation at the coffee shop. She walks in and says, "Hi, could I get a large cappuccino, please?" The barista smiles and replies, "Of course." "Anything to eat?" Sarah says, "Yes, I'll have a blueberry muffin." When she gets her order, she says, "Thanks so much." "Have a nice day." See how natural and easy that exchange is? This is how real life works. Short, polite, clear phrases that help everything go smoothly. Later, Sarah goes to her new job. She meets a coworker and says, "Hi, I'm Sarah. I just started today." The coworker responds, "Nice to meet you. Welcome aboard." Then during lunch, someone asks her, "Do you want to join us?" And she replies, "Sure, I'd love to." These are small but powerful interactions. They build relationships, and most importantly, they build your fluency one sentence at a time. Try making your own mini stories based on your day. Imagine how you would speak in different situations using the phrases you've learned. You don't need long, complicated scripts. Just simple, realistic moments where your English flows naturally. Let's take a moment now for more spoken practice. I'll give you a situation, and you try to respond aloud in English. Ready? You walk into a bookstore and need help. Say, "Excuse me, do you have a section for English learning books?" Now imagine you're meeting someone new at a friend's house. Say, "Hi, I'm Maria. How do you know John?" Next, picture yourself at a train station and you're a bit lost. Say, "Hi, is this the right platform for the 3:30 train to Central?" These practice scenes are simple, but they prepare your brain to use English in real-life situations without hesitation. Now let's focus for a moment on how emotions can be expressed using simple English. In daily life, we often talk about how we feel: excited, nervous, tired, happy, frustrated. You can say, "I'm really looking forward to the weekend," or "I'm feeling a bit off today." If something surprises you, say, "That totally caught me off guard," or "I wasn't expecting that." If something makes you feel good, say, "That made my day," or "It really lifted my mood." These emotional expressions are what make your English rich, personal, and real. Let's practice together. Imagine someone just gave you a compliment. You can respond with, "Thanks, that means a lot to me." Now imagine you had a long day and your friend asks how you're doing. Say, "Honestly, I'm exhausted. I just want to relax tonight." Or if you got good news, say, "I'm so happy right now. This is amazing." These are real ways to express what you feel. Don't be afraid to use emotion in your speaking. It's what makes you sound like a fluent, connected speaker. Let's review a few powerful and flexible phrases that can be used in many everyday contexts. Phrases like, "That sounds good," "Let me know," "I'll get back to you," "Take your time," and "No problem" are used constantly in English conversations. They help you agree, offer help, or manage time and communication. For example, if someone says, "I'll send you the file later," you can respond, "No problem," "Take your time." Or someone says, "Can we meet tomorrow instead?" And you reply, "Sure, that works for me." Try using them now. Say, "I'm not sure yet, but I'll get back to you." Or, "Let me know if you need anything." And, "Sounds good. I'll see you then." These phrases may be short, but they are powerful tools in sounding fluent and polite. We're now reaching the end of our session, but before we wrap up, let's do one final exercise together. I'll walk you through a quick role play with different daily situations. I'll describe a setting and a person you're talking to, and you respond aloud using what we've practiced. First scene. You're at a job interview. The interviewer says, "Tell me a little about yourself." You respond, "Sure. I'm someone who enjoys working with people and solving problems. I've been in customer service for 3 years and love learning new things." Second scene. You're in a taxi and want to confirm the destination. Say, "Could you please take me to Green Park near the museum entrance?" When you arrive, say, "Thank you. Have a great day." Third scene. You're at a social event and someone offers you a drink. You reply, "Thanks. That's very kind of you." Then they ask what you do, and you say, "I'm an English tutor. I help people improve their fluency and confidence." Fourth scene. You're leaving a cafe and the waiter says, "Have a nice day." You smile and reply, "You too." Thanks again. These small, polite, real exchanges are the true foundation of fluency. They happen every day, and the more you speak them, the more natural your English will become. As we close today's video, I want to remind you that the phrases we covered aren't just for learning, they are for using. The key to fluency is building habits. Speak English out loud every day, even if just for 5 minutes. Narrate your actions. Think in English when you go shopping, when you get dressed, when you cook or clean. Say out loud, "I'm making tea now," or "I'm heading out for a walk." These small moments are the seeds of strong fluency. It's not just about speaking when others are around. It's about training your brain to always be ready. One more important thing to remember is that you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know every word. Fluent speakers make mistakes too. What matters is that you keep going, keep trying, and keep speaking. Use the phrases from today's lesson in your daily life. Start small. Try one phrase today, then another tomorrow. Gradually, you'll build your own library of expressions that will come to your tongue naturally. It's also helpful to listen to how native speakers use these phrases. Watch movies or shows with subtitles. Pause and repeat the lines you hear. Try shadowing. That means repeating what someone says in real time. This technique trains your mouth and your brain to work together. You'll pick up rhythm, intonation, and confidence just by mimicking what you hear. And of course, keep coming back to lessons like this one. Every time you watch, repeat, and speak along with the practice, your brain is creating stronger connections. Don't rush the process. Fluency is a journey, and every sentence you practice brings you one step closer. Thank you so much for learning with me today. If you found this video helpful and you want more lessons like this one to improve your daily English speaking, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you never miss a new episode. We upload new videos every single day to help you become a confident English speaker, no matter where you are in your journey. And before you go, here's a quick task. Choose 3 phrases from today's lesson that you like the most and try to use them in a real conversation today. Or at least say them out loud as part of your practice. The more you use them, the more natural they'll become. I'm Natasha, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep speaking English confidently. You're doing great.